What's up guys, and welcome back to another replay cast. Today's game is between Flash and Soma. We're on Radeon, and this game was played on the 29th of June 2025. So if you have been following along some of the games between these two that I've been doing, they played a batch of games on the 28th, which I've already released on the channel. So clearly they were doing a lot of clan practice, both from the C9 clan. Often they play these games on stream, which is really cool because then the quality seems to be high. This is a lot of Flash on his comeback climb, perfecting and refining builds. And I can tell you guys that these games are very, very competitive, and it's often swinging on a pendulum. So it's looking like, you know, Flash is in serious control, and then suddenly Soma's able to turn the tables, or vice versa. So it's been a lot of fun. You'd expect these two to be amazingly well matched, because even though I think at this time Flash wasn't as good as he is right now, you know, in May 2026 time of recording, he is obviously still Flash, so he will always give good players a run for their money. And as it turns out, this is now the final for ASL 21, so I think that's pretty good. It's pretty good to have probably the two best players in the world playing in the final. Obviously everybody's got their opinion, and that's totally fine. But certainly two of the best, and it should, presumably, depending on when you watch this, have been or will be an amazing series. So the more games between these two I can watch to build up a little bit of a sample for us to all enjoy, I felt the better. This is something that is happening 100% of the time in the games that I'm seeing from Flash. So it's the forward racks, wall in, and then he's going some kind of mech. So he's done Goliaths, he's done Valkyries, he's done triple tech switches. It's been really, really fun to see what he's developing and trying to perfect. So let's see what he has for us installed here on Radeon. So before we get into the game, guys, I'm a variety Broodwar caster. I show up each and every day. I've kind of evolved a little. I think I'm focusing a lot more now on the pros and the pro scene than what I was in the beginning. I was doing a lot of Autosis games and Toggles games, and I'll continue to do those, looking for sort of some of the fun and funny ones to enjoy, and that I'll be doing a couple of days a week. But for the most part, we're trying to showcase non-ladder pro games. That's what I really want to be focusing on here. So if you enjoyed today's game, if you're stopping by for the first time, please do hit that like button. And if you'd like more videos like this recommended to you, then please do consider subscribing. By the way, guys, for the regular viewers, I have recently started a brand new Discord. So come hang out with me there, get to know me a little more, and you can get access to today's replay as well as a number of other great replays of past casts that I have done. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that, finding the links, all of the detail is in the description box below. This dark blue, by the way, I think it's got to be the coolest color to play in. And even on this terrain, it's not like ideal, because spotting a dropship walking, like flying across the darkness here, can be tricky, but it just looks really awesome. And this magenta pink, I've always for whatever reason, I've always been a fan. And for the record, I have a wife and kids, so my magenta pink is not what you think it might be. Anyway, alrighty, so my waffle twaffle aside, we are transferring our workers with impeccable timing. By the way, the last game of Flash, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before, there was a time we had 15 idle workers. I've never seen a professional Brood War player have more than one, possibly two idle workers. So that was freaking hilarious. Seeing this more and more, that's quite standard, I've come to now understand. So the macro hatch is made before the spire to maximize the amount of lava. So the first muters come out a little bit later, but you can make more of them quicker, if that makes sense. So yeah, just learning the finer nuances of this match. Every time I watch games, I apply the knowledge I have, and I also try and gain new knowledge. So that's why I tend to ask a lot of questions from the viewers, and I'm very, very thankful that a lot of my viewers give me a lot of input, and it helps me become a better caster, right? Which is what it's all about. If I knew everything already, I would be much more famous than I am. And I'm not famous. I'm just someone who enjoys the game and casts as a hobby, and it's a lot of fun. The double armory was what Flash pulled out last time. Looks like an eBay Starport, probably a Valkyrie build this time with the racks. Wow, man, this dude really mixes it up. It's so worth just tuning into his games just to see what he has in store for us next. So Soma doing the very quick 4th hatchery on location. So I think he's got enough confidence now that his spire is up and he's getting his flyer carapace already that he will be able to defend any harassment attempts on that hatch. So happy to forge ahead. Definitely a big strength of his game. His macro, his sense of expansion timings, his mutalist play. He's quite bold as well. I think I've seen it twice where he's kind of dived on. I don't know if dived is not the right past tense, is it? It's dove, I suppose. But he dives on Flash's move outs and he just commits, right? And a lot of the times he comes out ahead in those trades, and it scales quite well for him into the mid game because it means he can get his lurkers up, he can safely defend this, he can get up to hive tech, he can get his niduses and all that stuff. And that's really what you need as Zerg to be able to expand to your critical mass, so that you can scale into the mid game and survive the inevitable onslaught that you will be getting from Terran when they get their vessels and their upgraded units out on the field. So we predicted Valkyrie, and there we see it. No upgrades from our eBay as of yet, so I think the eBay's purpose was just to be able to make turrets. And the blue squad, which is not an ad for Viagra, it's just the color of his units, is out and about. He scans the main, sees what he wants to see. Hydralis Den on the way, so he knows there's a timing here. What if he has his spidey sensor switched on today, which would be to press this, there we go. He freaking does have it. He freaking does have it. Look at that. He's like, up! I reckon he put his base there, and he's spot on. So, is he going to push? Well, the Valkyries are going to make this tough. The Overlord snipers. This is 9 meters against 2 Valks. Come on, man. You should beat this. Oh my god, the volleys. It does pick off one. And gets some pretty heavily bruised mutas, though. Pink mutas are feeling pink. Now the Valkyrie shows up. Now the muta lost, and all of these are pretty bruised. The Valkyries trade really, really well. They're very, very expensive. It's a difficult build. It isn't something that you see a lot of Terrans pull off successfully. Scan does it pretty well. Here we go. We're doing the dive. I told you he dives. He just picks his spot and boom. So now suddenly he's ahead in supply, and all that early pressure from Flash is translating into diddly squatzels. You better be careful here, Flash. I think you're going to be vulnerable to some counter pressure from Soma. Scans the natural. Where are our mutas at? Here we are. We're making more Valkyries. We are still quite a long way away from vessels. Flash does this thing, right, where he looks like he's playing bio with Valkyrie support, and then he suddenly gets Vultures. And then the Vultures go in and they harass bases and kill drones, and his multitasking to be able to pull this off successfully is just off the chain. It is so incredible to watch. So if I could hazard a prediction, the reason I'm seeing Vulture speed in the production tab is that he wants to start doing some harassment. So he's going to have bio, he's going to have medics, and then you'll see suddenly he'll have a whole bunch of tanks as well as we get towards the later half of the game. And then I think as Zerg, it's very challenging because you need Hydras, you need Cracklings to fight some tanks, you potentially need some Queens, you need everything. So Flash kind of forces you to need all the things because he tends to play a all the things kind of build. This space should be safe. The Vultures have arrived. We can see them now. Flash has just obviously got some spare APM to burn. Supplies are still dead even. I would say if I had to call the game as a situational analysis, considering he's starting his hive and he's ahead on supply, Soma is quite comfortably ahead in this game. That being said though, you never ever write off Flash. He's going into this mech build now. which I think means that his supply doesn't have to be as high or much higher than his opponent because of the extent to which mech can trade well. Irradiator's on the way, more factories, so he's going to make tanks, he's going to do all the things as I mentioned. And until the Irradiator's on the field, the Valkyries are going to be his best solution to these mutas. But Soma's not making, oh he is, I was going to say he's not making more mutas, but he is making some more mutas. Some more Overlord snipes. I fear for the survival of this Overlord and this Overlord. Is it a single Valkyrie? It sure is. Single Valkyrie seems to be enough. Just scanned here. Oh no, he didn't. He's got units here. I'm being silly. Yeah, I backed this one to win with a 1-to-1 medic ratio. That's for sure. Third base of Flash coming up. So, feeling comfortable now on 60 SCVs to spread and saturate, which makes some sense. And if you're Soma, you're just buying time to get your hive tech up. Nice irradiate there. I think he's going to lose all his mutas unless he splits. Finally does. Was a bit sloppy there. Lost 2 and then another irradiate went off. So that is really, really, really good trades for Flash. Getting excellent value from his vessels and his irradiate spells. And here we go. What are we making out of our factories? More vultures. Wow. So still no tanks. Second armory on the way. So big commitment to the upgrade side of the play. I'm expecting more tanks to enter the fray. It's hard to play against mech, man. Like at any stage of the game, it's very, very hard to play against mech. I think Zergs are good at it, the good ones, but good Terrans can just make mech seem absolutely terrifying. I think we get units plomping through the Niduses. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. A 4 basing Zerg versus a 4 basing Terran. This is scary now. So this is where the pendulum can swing back in Flash's favor, simply because he's got such a strong base count. He can really, really, really power up his production here with the upgrades that he's running as well. And Soma's going to be in a very difficult position to challenge any bases. So Flash would have expected Soma to have this position already. He doesn't, just confirms. The mobility and the speed that this gives him is insane. So the Vulture's coming. He picks off that Vulture, bro. Who has time? Who has time? That is crazy. So fifth hatch on the way. Defiler's in the game as well. I feel like this is one of those games where Flash is going to have one big push in him now. And that could potentially be the winning one. And if Soma's able to hold that off, he could scale. But a 4 basing Terran with mech is just very, very, very hard to beat. And the fact that Soma has had no scope to contend for any bases in this game, and Flash is taking a 5th, just gives me a signal that he is pulling ahead into a somewhat unassailable position. That's why you put your Scourge on move command, friend. Otherwise they get wasted. Okay, so we're getting some broodling time. Let's go. Clearing some mines here as well. So what is our tech? We have Ultras as well potentially coming out. It's going to require a lot of money to run this. Look at this mass vultures. This is insane. Valkyrie into mass vulture build. I mean, what even is this? The queens are queening. They obviously need energy to be able to do their thing. Oh, he irradiated a queen. Very nicely done. I think it's 150. Oh, those vultures are not long for this world. What are your drones doing? Wake up, drones! Okay, so vultures are coming here to harass. Flash is scanning and just doing this with the vultures, dude. He hasn't made a scene. Now he's making tanks. Finally. But what an insanely cool build this is. Now suddenly a whole whack of tanks show up. Who invited these guys? Ultras now as well. So this hatch is probably toast. This one is not looking good. His queens don't have enough energy. We just have overlords here. Okay, that's interesting. His queens don't have enough energy, so he's just gonna get wrecked here. 2-1 on these mech units. And 178 plays 120. The Ultras have hit the field, but I think ideally they're probably a bit late, I dare say. This base is gone. Yeah, Soma's just cooked here, bro. Like, Flash is really making this build look good. I haven't in any of these actually just seen him play standard. Who plays standard? What is the point? I suppose Flash just sets the standard in many ways. Coming up the hill here with his boys. So we are hearing the broodlings now finally hitting the game. So there's another couple of tanks being picked off. But you just feel like Flash has just got insurmountable resources. So many factories to reinforce. Lots of extra money. So probably the one and only little flaw from him in this game is doesn't perhaps have the factory count he needs to sustain this insane macro engine that he's built. It's not going to matter much, but where everybody can find something small to criticize if they're trying hard enough. So that's probably what we're doing here. So we're doing some lurker drops here for a bit of counter harassment and dropping in an ultra as well. Flash has a bunker though and some vultures that'll take care of that, so that's not going to be much of a hassle. Meanwhile, our tanks and our Goliaths and our units are still firing away here as Flash slowly but surely applies the finishing touches to what has been a very, very, very convincing win. Recharging here with some of his queens. The Vulture impact though in this game was just absolutely massive, and the seamless way with which he transitions from Valk into mass Vulture, it's just insanely cool. Really, really, really cool. Good game, guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed this. I'll keep doing, I've got a couple more Flash versus Somas that I will do. I'm really enjoying watching these two play. Obviously was put in the mood for it based on recent events in the competition scene. So if you enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. If you want to see more cool games like this, please do consider subscribing. Come hang out with me in Discord if you become a fan. I'll appreciate it. Love to see you there. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take it easy.